Hey guys, Luke C here with TFBTV Showtime. We're out here in Wichita, Kansas at TriggrCon 2024. I'm here with Chris from C&G Holsters. Chris,
hey man,
it's nice to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
And you've got some, yeah, absolutely, man. It's we've talked a couple of times in the past. We've worked together. I've reviewed a couple of your holsters on the blog, and now you've got a new update to your line of Kydex holsters.
Yeah, we did.
So this is the Gen 6, right?
Yes.
Right. So what's new about the Gen 6 versus the? I presume it's the Gen 5, or did you guys skip numbers?
No, we did, but it's funny when we started to identify with the generations, we had to go back through and go, where are we? Because we just kind of started upgrading and updating, and then we're like, how do we kind of get this under one big shell, and how do we identify things? So we realized we were at a 5th generation of all the reiterations that we did, and we're like, okay, now we're going to call this the Gen 6, and we're going to really start to market it and really show what we're doing with it.
Okay.
So we went through and we took all the other generations and the things we did right and the things that we felt we could have done better, and we put that into the Gen 6.
Okay.
And then we also took the customer feedback of the things that they felt, hey, this could be better. What about this tweak or that tweak?
Yeah.
Or some of the warranty issues that we were having.
Okay, let's talk about that real quick. So, like, what were some of the complaints that people had about previous generations?
The cracking.
Cracking. Okay.
Right. So,
and is that a common problem with Kydex holsters?
It depends on the thickness. If you use the thicker stuff, the cracking, and you manufacture it the right way, understanding how the Kydex works, you can eliminate the cracking.
Okay.
But so understanding, like beefing it up, making it a little bit thicker, adjusting, making little tweaks in the molds and the angles and everything so it lays the right way, and we figured out how to just basically eliminate that part of it.
Okay. And your holsters are divided largely into basically OWB, like kind of competition duty holsters, and then you've got concealment holsters, right?
Yes.
And we've got 2 examples of the Gen 6s here.
Yes, we do.
So let's start with the concealment holster first. I feel like that's most appealing to you everyday carrier walking around. So this is kind of we've got a mag pouch and then the primary holster. So what are we talking about in improvements, features here?
So this is the Mod 1. So we work with Jamie Caldwell from Mod 1 Minute Out. Okay. And we created the Mod 1 together. And the idea was we wanted a sidecar system that'll work and flex with the body. And depending on, as we call it, how God made you, and then how I made myself. Right. We're going to flex a little bit different.
Yeah.
Right?
Just a little bit.
So what we did was we created a modular system. That's why we call it the mod. So you can take this mag and pull it out, and then we have a cuff case. You can put a flashlight. You can put. We're working on an OC holder.
Oh, so I don't have to carry a spare mag.
Correct.
Okay, so if I'm carrying like a Glock 19, I've got 15 rounds on me. Maybe I carry a flashlight with me there, or
maybe a tourniquet.
Oh, TQ, yeah, very smart. Medical's very important.
Absolutely.
I'm sure. Yeah, you would know, right?
I've had a little experience with it, for sure.
And there's also, it seems like you guys added a whole lot of adjustability here.
We did. We tried to change the ride. We felt the clips that were used were great clips before, but there were some things about getting them on and off, and being able to get them off when you want them to come off. It was a little bit of the problem we had before. Right. So we decided we were going to create our own clips. Okay. And a lot of the same finish. It's tempered steel spring. We're actually switching over to melaniting them so that they're even stronger. Wow. Than what they will be before.
That's a tough coating.
It is. It's actually a chemical bond. It actually changes the metal itself.
So it permeates the metal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's a lot like a Tennifer finish with the Glocks.
Gotcha. Okay.
How you can cut through them and it's still the same color. Yeah. Yeah. That's the same thing with these springs. So
does it add any sort of rigidity to the metal?
It does. It makes them way stronger. You're not able to cut them with shears or anything like that. It makes them very, very rough.
So probably at very low risk for breaking.
Very.
Gotcha.
Very. The idea is how can we overbuild it so that your average person that might run it a little bit hard, it'll always work for them. But then your new user that doesn't quite understand how to run it correctly and they're a little rougher on it, how does it endure that as well and be a little more forgiving?
Right, because it's kind of a struggle. I think most people when they hear we're rough on on our gear, to me that means something entirely different. Agreed. Versus so it's good that you've built in the accommodation for pretty much everybody from normal people to deranged people like me.
Right. Or the people that, I know the joke I always had was the only place I don't carry a gun is in the shower because we haven't made a holster for it yet.
Kilt's in the shower. He's not carrying in the shower, guys.
So what we decided to do was how can we make this as functional and durable as possible in that order. So added our own wing system. We work with Tom Kelly over at Dark Star. Him and I created this, the Dark Wing.
Okay.
The uniqueness of the Dark Wing is it'll rotate it into the body, but because of the step, it also rotates it on 2 axes. So it'll take the butt of the gun and rotate it in like every other wing, but because of this, it'll actually rotate it in and tuck it in the curve with the body.
Conforming to the curve of your waist or your hip, and then it's also pushing it up against your body as well for better conceal.
Correct.
Cool.
And then on the back side of it, we have our concealment, our hump, our wedge that we call it. And what that does is it kind of takes the extra space that is created by pushing the gun into the body, and it fills that out. So you don't have that hot spots where
where it's rubbing or like digging into you. When, like especially like in vehicles, if you carry appendix in the waistband, that's probably like one of the worst times to carry because it digs.
Yes, and it's a balance, right? So if you want to wear a gun in a hole, and if you're going to ride with it, then obviously you're seated. You still need to be able to access it, so it has to run high enough so that you can access it. But you also want to make it a little bit comfortable too. So there's that balance that you're trying to find with it. Yeah. And we found that we figured that the way that we have it right now, we think we've hit that balance so that it's comfortable enough to ride with and function with. If you do have to roll around with somebody, it's still going to stay secure. It's still going to be where you need it to be.
Not going to fall out.
Move.
Gotcha.
Right? So it's there when you need it, but it also keeps it there when you don't need to go access it.
Awesome. And then real quick before we move on to the OWB holster, because I know there is a small materials difference between the two. So Kydex, thickness, everyone knows thickness is an important factor. What thickness are we running with on this one?
We're running 093.
093.
And we're actually using true Kydex. The reason why we went with Kydex over Bolderon or the other manufacturers was Kydex actually has a higher impact and tensile strength.
Okay.
Because it uses, the chemical compound that it uses is slightly different than the other manufacturers, where some of the other ones like the Bolderon is a little bit more of a matte finish.
Okay.
The Kydex has a little bit of a shine, a little bit more of a semi-gloss finish.
Right.
But it's also stronger. So we felt that you're already trying to conceal it. You shouldn't see the holster anyway.
Yeah.
There wasn't a need to worry about that extra little sheen.
The extra shine. Yeah.
But so we aired on. We felt that Kydex itself was the best product over the other ones.
Yeah. And then again, we're talking about materials. So compared to something stronger like glass-filled nylon, Kydex is much less expensive. So what are we talking about in terms of price for this particular model here?
So these are retailing at $149.99.
Okay.
And we feel that the technology and everything we have into it, especially with the adjustable hinge, it's probably, we feel, the best product on the market right now.
Right.
We're seeing other people trying to copy it or mimic it or do their own version of it, but in reality, you're really not going to beat, the effort that we put into design.
Right, and then like so, $150. Most people hear that. That's like, I don't know. I would say that's a day's worth of work for a lot of people. But what about someone who's like maybe on a tighter budget? I know you guys like this is a great holster, but you guys do have more affordable holsters that are built to the exact same spec as this, but just a little bit less feature-rich, I suppose.
Yeah, it's our covert line.
Okay.
So in most of the dealers that you're going to find across the nation, I believe we have over 400 dealers right now, just in the United States. So most of the time, you're going to be able to go into a local gun store and you're going to be able to pick up some of our stuff, and it's going to be the covert line. So the covert line is pretty much identical as far as the features, the concealment ramp, every bit of it, everything that you're going to see, you're going to find. It's just not the extra mag. Those are running $59.99.
$60.
Yes.
Out the door.
Out the door.
And what about like, so moving on slightly, we got your OWB holsters as well. Is that kind of like in the same, like you guys, the same tiers of like accessibility, I'll call it?
Yes, we do. So we have the covert outside, which is a pancake style. It goes on the hip. Those are $69.99. Yeah, the thing that we found about the covert outsides is we were able to design it so that we could tuck it in, and just like we have the butt of the gun rotate into the body, the outsides will do the same thing on your hip, so you don't have that little sticking out.
So it's not
that
sticking,
flag.
yeah.
So we call it flagging. So how do we eliminate that flagging? And that's the benefit. We thought that we had a true outside that's truly concealable. Okay. Not just, hey, you can if you have a big enough shirt or you have a big enough Carhartt, a puffy enough jacket, you can conceal it. No, you can put a t-shirt over top.
Yeah, because I suppose that's always the struggle, right? Is like you get the holster, you get the gun, but then now you have to find the clothes that work with the gun and the concealment aspect of it. It's good to know you guys are thinking about that, right? Because like not everyone's body is shaped the same, not everyone carries in the exact same style or position, and OWB is I mean, I'll admit it, it's a lot more comfortable than carrying inside the waistband all day.
Especially for guys like me.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little bit easier to have it here.
Right.
And, you know, and on that note, people don't realize the things that you have to do to carry a gun comfortably. You got to find the right gun that shoots for you, the right way, the right gear. There's a lot going on. So if we can make a product that's going to kind of round those edges of making that journey a little bit straighter, then that was the goal.
Right. And just again, on your OWB line here, as far as handguns go, like, what are we talking about? What do you guys cover? Like, there's a bajillion guns out there. I mean, just here, there's probably like, 50, 60 different types of handguns?
Yeah.
What do you guys cover?
We have over 300 different makes and models we cover. So active SKUs that we hold on to, active products, we actively stock over 1,800 SKUs.
Does that include like lights and
Light
lasers?
bearings and everything, yeah. So
optic compatibility?
everything is completely red dot cutout. If they make something that is egregiously wider than an SRO, I don't know if they'll fit it. But if it's even wider than the SRO, every one of our holsters will fit it.
It should fit it.
Yeah, and all the compensators are open bottom, so they can handle every compensator or threaded barrel on the market as well.
Okay, awesome. So, Chris, where do people go to find the C&G holsters? Like, obviously in stores, but what about online?
You can go right to our website. It's
Okay.
www.candgholsters.com, C-A-N-D-G holsters.com.
Okay, and people can buy them directly from you?
Absolutely.
$60 out the door.
Quick ships in 5 days or less.
So, so your guys' lead times are not that bad. It's a week.
Not even. Yeah. And we say, and I shouldn't say this on camera, but we tell our people they has to ship in 3 days or less, but we tell our customers 5.
Okay, so don't let any of your employees watch this video.
Yes, don't say that. Zach, Justin, our managers, I didn't say that.
That's awesome. Well, Chris, thank you so much for showing us the Gen 6 holsters. I appreciate you coming on the show. It's great to see you again. Guys, stay tuned to TFBTV Showtime for more from TriggrCon 2024.